Right. Well, good morning, everybody. This is Justice's Waiting Room. This is a daily live podcast where we just discuss news and politics. Again, my name is Jared. I am only kidding when I say if you wonder where else you may find me outside of the show. Uh, Sorry, I had to do a puzzle. There's my blue sky. Okay. And full disclosure, I hate TikTok with a fucking passion. And I just want to put this out in this energy out into the fucking universe. Listen up, Skylight and Neptune. Get your shit together. ASAP. Um, you should have all the fucking energy in the world. These fucking nerds that are our oppressors can't fucking handle not controlling the narrative. And one of the things that I want to make sure that I never, ever, ever, ever do is I'm never bitching about views. I could literally give a fuck. I don't care. This ain't about me. This ain't about me. I look at the other content creators screaming into the fucking void with way bigger following than me and they get less action. So if you think you ain't doing enough for me, just understand that like bigger creators don't have the support network that I do. So shout out to the fucking Discord. I appreciate y'all. I'm very cognizant of what I have. It's not like I'm ever taking shit for granted. I know exactly that I'm in a privileged position to have a very nice community between the Discord, the YouTube chat. Hey Jerry. And some of y'all ain't bad on TikTok. It ain't all y'all. I'm not really upset with the other creators too terribly. So I know, yeah. The view number ran himself. Yeah. So listen, best you can do is tell people where you've been spending your time. Like, hey, I found this nerd that has a daily live podcast on TikTok and YouTube. He's got kind of a tumultuous relationship with TikTok, so we're fighting a daily ban, probably really just using too big of words and having too cogent of arguments. We all understand how this really works. If you went through the education system, you knew that you sat with people that had absolutely no fucking business in that classroom, and then you realized halfway through that fucking class that, like, man, I'm fucking learning some shit. Y'all better look out. So I forgot to do it yesterday, but again, we're gonna lean hard on this. Okay. Why? Because I have always, and I think that this is very much just a continuation of my life. If you go to that link right there for pll.harvard.edu, Harvard, the Harvard, has hundreds of their classes for free. Listen to me, as someone that's been in the education system for 30 fucking years, okay? Somebody who's been to college several times, I will always probably be enrolled taking some. I love learning. I think it's fucking incredible. The more you fucking know, the less you know. It keeps me fucking humble. Um, is every day I'm trying to learn something new and I'm consistently blown the fuck away. Um, so yeah, make sure that you are taking advantage of free. Good to go. Um, it don't come along very often, and I do find it fucking hilarious. Harvard University is giving away its priceless education. Okay. I would literally list each course you complete on your resume for any job you apply. Dead ass. That's how badass those classes are. I checked out the course material. You're in good hands. Okay. Now, what's important here is that you don't develop this love of learning and not develop a love of reading. Okay. And so what you have got to do, what you have got to do is you have got to pick up reading as a hobby. I know it sounds like super goddamn boring, and when the bullets are flying, that's not really what you want to be hearing, but it is true. Like you do have to really pair a love of reading with learning because listen to me, if you aren't an excellent reader and like you don't have high reading comprehension, like the shit is going to go over your head. We are talking about Harvard, okay? We are talking about Harvard. So don't expect to get your hand held, expect to get your ass kicked. And I'm trying to prepare you for that by saying you better pick up a love of reading to go with that love of learning, or you've only got half of what you need to be able to succeed at the collegiate level, to like take college level courses, okay? And that's Harvard. That's not Ivy Tech. No offense to the Ivy Tech that's like a few miles away from my house, okay? Um, but again, this is Justice's Waiting Room again here every morning on multiple channels. We're on YouTube. We're on TikTok until there's Neptune, until there's Skylight, some other. And it's not that I don't like Clapper and think we could have totally done this on Clapper instead of TikTok. It's just I don't think the people that watch the show can possibly appreciate what Clapper does or what Clapper has. Clapper has a very unique community that I don't even want to. It's like you ever stumble on a bird's nest and you're like, you know what? I'm gonna leave that alone. Actually, actually, I think I'm gonna leave that alone. So what Clapper is non-white people. So yeah, all us dirty mutts. So it's the Indian community, the Latino community, the black community. But when I say black, I'm talking about like uh, Africa. When I say Latino, I'm talking like poor. When I say Indian, I'm talking poor. I'm not talking, these are like our people, right? Poor just like us, but it's like they're fuck off. I won't bother that. Like, let them alone. Like, I'll stream there as a fucking backup, like, if TikTok goes down. But, like, I want to find another space because it's like, it's actually kind of perfect. Like, my feed on Clapper, great. I don't want to fuck that up. Like, you just get to see people that don't look like you and their sense of humor given what they're going through. And you're like, you know what? I don't even, you guys got it. Go ahead. Go ahead. Aw, I, Man, I actually appreciate it. Like again, you have to understand like people that don't speak English, what is funny here, it ain't funny there. Right? They have a complete every non-English speaking, non-white uh account that you come across, just have a different they have a different way of doing business altogether. As you can tell, the more I talk about it, you're like, oh, I completely understand why you were like, I'll probably use it as a backup. I'm not doom scrolling Clapper. I can tell you that. I can tell you that. If I'm drunk and possibly might look to laugh in Spanish, hey, got me. That's all I'm saying. You know, if I really had a question in my mind, what kind of sense of humor they got in Tandoor, I'm gonna go fucking find that on Clapper. You're gonna walk away from that and just be like, Phew. Yeah, I understand what he was saying about like, you know what? Let them have it. They got it. It's great. hmm Yeah, there you go, Ange. Questionable videos there. That's I don't know about yeah, I think questionable is appropriate. They just do it different, you know? That's all I was gonna say. Ange, they just do it different. I can appreciate it. I'm gonna probably not do that, you know? So anyway, the point I was gonna make earlier, I was just gonna try to find a link to go with it, okay? The point I was trying to make earlier, okay, is that here's how I am perceiving what is happening, okay? Harvard is making its education free. For the record, if you think every other college on earth is not about to follow suit, you're out of your motherfucking mind. Okay? I can promise you, for the record, Purdue University was talking about while I was enrolled as a student about be careful about whose educational content you take, free educational content. It always has an agenda, shit like that. So you know if they're having to be like, keep paying us, don't go with the free hype. And MIT and the University of Texas and again, I want to make sure I'm talking about Longhorns. Do you understand? They're making their education free. That's a massive school, friend. That is a network of colleges, that University of Texas, okay? MIT, man, only the smartest people on earth go to MIT. Harvard, hey, in case you didn't notice this, both the Obamas, Mr. and Mrs. Obama, President and former First Lady Obama, okay, and their fucking kid all got into Harvard. Like elite of the elite. King Squint hit it on the screws. Harvard is setting the bar for all educational institutions beyond high school to be free. And do you know what the Republicans are fucking doing? And it's hilarious. The new Secretary or Commerce or whatever, whoever the fuck this Besant is, Bessent, he he's gonna sign part of this budget bill. It limits how much your parents can borrow for your education, so it forces you to take the loans, which it's trying to kneecap our ability to pay for education. Okay, like the common people that have to get loans to go to school, like you and I, right? And so what this administration's doing is like, yeah, we're going to make it fucking harder for you to go to school. And what the higher education's doing is like, yeah, it's free. You don't even have to show up. No. Yeah, you can just take a course off the website. Yeah, it's all good. You can, in fact, here's hundreds of them. That's what Harvard's doing, is being like, we read Project 2025. We know what's coming. They want to cap the amount of money that parents can borrow for their kids' education. They want to cap it at 150,000. They want to make sure that your parents can't put you through medical school, can't put you through law school. Why? Because it's fucking smart people. It's doctors and fucking lawyers that are holding this administration accountable, and that are the heads of organizations that are countering what this administration is doing. Yeah. Now, keep in mind, Harvard is free if your family makes under $200,000. As I've said, the standard in the United States should be universal education. We should all be proud. You should be proud of your education. You shouldn't hide it, right? Like I tell people, like I don't have a bachelor's degree. I don't know if I've ever told you that. But I have the better part of three different educations. And there's reasons why I didn't pay the extra money and get the bachelor's. I didn't need it. I got the job, right? Why pay the extra 50K when you start tomorrow? Like, okay. Bob's starting Harvard today. See, look at Bob leading the way. And that's what I kind of figured would happen, is that what I figure will happen is Harvard will make public coursework free. And then when other schools follow suit, I can go finish my degree probably from Purdue and pay nothing. Like your education's worth nothing if Harvard is free. So send links of me saying that to every person you know. Pass it the fuck along. If Harvard's fucking classes are free, guess how much your education's worth now? Nothing. Nothing. And oh, by the way, I looked at some of the paid classes that you could take at Harvard. Some of them shits are over $30,000. But I also clickety click click clack, and you could get money for someone to like pay for you to take that. Okay. Okay. I see you, Harvard. Shaking that ass. Shaking that ass. Yeah, Harvard all day over the Trumps, by the way. Do you know what I saw yesterday? And I didn't make any content about it because it was like it was not enough to go with it. You know what I mean? It's like just a piece of steak and nothing else. Don Jr. on fucking Memorial Day. Did you see what this turd said? They drove by Arlington, and again, I'm probably making shit up. They drove by like Arlington, like a cemetery with all the flags on the people's graves and shit. And this motherfucker said, driving past all these graves with the flags on them, it reminded me of the great sacrifice my father made. You're like, what? All you could think about was dad? Come the fuck on, Cadet Bone Spurs? Come on. You have an option to get an actual certificate at the end of your course for like $230 for just a pass fail no cert for free. Yeah. Which is basically paying like 1/6 of the cost of a credit hour at Harvard. Like if let's say like you take free classes, there's certs and shit. Oh, we talking about one of the sons of Trump saying, yeah, Don Jr. Don Jr. said yesterday. You can go Google the shit. Don Jr.'s dumbass comments on Memorial Day. I'm sure somebody like made a Reddit. But like yeah, like Google Don Jr. is a dumbass on Memorial Day, and I'm sure somebody capped that where it was like he's seeing all these heroes laid to rest. And again, it's manufactured, kids. So if you actually thought, first of all, if you thought he actually did anything of reverence on Memorial Day, come the fuck on. Second, if you actually think he did that and thought of his dad, you're out of your mind. Okay. But the fact that he like said it out loud, batshit. That's batshit crazy. These people are nutballs. That's some nutball shit. I don't know what the fuck else to call that. Because we know it's not that's not the chain of events. That's not what actually happened. He sat on his ass doing fucking blow and then was like, Daddy! That's what the fuck really happened. Okay? Or whatever they do. Booger sugar, I don't give a shit. Disney said that family is so disrespectful. You right. You right. There's a reason we spend a lot of time on Harvard. You know what I'm saying? Mm-mm-mm. So I hope you all had a great Memorial Day weekend. Yeah, Dina, that's what I'm saying. Thank you. It's like, you know that didn't happen. That's what But yeah, let's see. I like this article. I don't like working out because it hurts. Oh, Jose. Uh, Man, it depends how old you are. If you're in high school, sleep is your friend. So is a warming, like a heated blanket, will help with pain. Don't the misconception in sports is that if you're sore, put ice on it. If you hurt it, put ice on it. Ice constricts blood flow, delays healing. Okay. You need to open up blood flow to all over your body. You need to wrap yourself like a burrito in a heated blanket and encourage blood flow. Hmm also continuing give up during the one set. You mean like the last set with the heavy weight on it? You need to lower how much you're lifting then. Hmm. Hmm. In your Florida headline of the day, deputies fatally shoot Florida man who survived apparent gator attack and tried to steal their gun, sheriff says. Authorities in Polk County first deployed a taser that appeared to have no effect after Timothy Schultz, 42, charged at them with garden shears, bitten while swimming in alligator infested waters, and fatally shot afterwards. He had a bad day. Damn. Yeah. Did you hear that? That dude went swimming in the AM and got bit by alligator, charged at the police who tased his ass. It did nothing. So they had to put him down like a rabid dog. Angie asking the important questions. Why was dude swimming with alligators? And somebody said it's Florida. No body of water is safe, not even a puddle. Hey, Pride is next week. I just seen it. Make sure if you need your daily dose of reality that you're checking out Suppressed News. It's one of my you gotta have your dopamine hit that like gets you up in the morning. I gotta have my shot of reality. Um Kind of goes without saying um that Israel, more specifically the IDF and Benjamin Netanyahu are committing a genocide, have been committing a genocide in Gaza. Free Palestine. Kind of goes without saying, right? And then also, I want to make sure I use my platform to say, hey, Russia illegally invaded Ukraine, Slava Ukraine. Pretty easy. Rolls off the tongue. Didn't bother me a bit. I sleep like a fucking baby. Ain't it great? It's the way to live, you know? And I just want to point out the lack of color coordination between being pro Ukraine, pro Palestine. Just saying, the colors are all over the fucking place. Okay? We just talked about pride like 2 minutes ago. It's a thing, right? Anyway, yeah. Jerry, say it. Mike Johnson said he's too busy, y'all. Too busy to give a shit about Donald Trump's crypto grift. I just want to point this out. Okay. Let me explain how Donald Trump is feasting on poor, stupid people. Okay. So what kids will do now is they start streaming younger and younger and they build up a following, right? And they'll make us some fucking money. It's not the money that's the problem. It's what they do with their money. And so what they had to do is they had to spend a large amount of coin just to be at the same place with Donald Trump for this crypto event. So I'm talking like 100,000 just to go. And then think about there's so much negative attention on crypto and Donald Trump and his this grift that the people showing up are showing up in masks, like hiding their fucking faces completely. Not masks like they're being considerate because COVID's still around. No, in a full blown cover your whole head mask because they don't want to be seen. But here's the thing, I want to make sure you tell the whole story here. They paid six figs to fucking be there. It was a private, paid access event where they were supposed to have access to Donald Trump. Not only did they not actually get access to Donald Trump, but the food was like, how do I say, deceptively low quality food. Like somebody said that these steaks are Walmart steaks. Talk about a fucking grift. So think about having to pay to go. You can't even show your fucking face when you get there. You're supposed to have access to Donald Trump, and he's not fucking there. And the food that they served was like substandard. Somebody said they're surprised he didn't serve McDonald's. From what I understand, at least like McDonald's food, you know what I mean? Like you don't buy a steak from Walmart, you know what I mean? But yeah, he wants to say that what he does in his own time, whatever. He uses the presidential seal. Shit's over. It's over. When you put the presidential seal on it, it's over. It's over. There will be no. That's the thing, Bob. That's the thing, Bob. Think of it if it had been an aged steak, right? That would have been an upgrade. That would have been an upgrade. Like an aged, processed, like high quality steak. And I'm not even giving Trump any credit. I'm saying like aged, because didn't they go out of business like years ago? And then, come on, that was funny, Bob. But yeah, 100K supposed to have access to the POTUS. You didn't. He used the presidential seal and the motorcade. Yep. Yep. Do not fuck with him. That's generally the vibe off DJT. You just don't fuck with that dude. Like he will turn his back on you. He will absolutely ruin you. And that's if you're on the same team. Okay. So last, 24 to 48 hours, I don't know what y'all heard. Last 24 to 48 hours, Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin are personally attacking each other. Um, I'm not hiding. You realize I'm posting links to news stories in the chat from reputable sources? Why are you talking to me? Like, I don't understand why would you come in someone's comment section and like hold contention? Like, if you can't see the links and you're not going to bother to click them and go read the story for yourself, why are you here? This is a show about the news. I'm literally giving you the news. I'll post the link in the chat. You go fucking read the story yourself. Really reputable. Yeah, I don't know, Newsweek, Reuters, AP. What's disreputable? And this is the thing about this is like, who are you to hold someone's credibility up? You're a no one. Thank you. Move along. Like, get away from me. Holy shit. Like, I'm posting the link to the story I'm talking about in the comments. You can just go there. Somebody said it's your favorite. What the fuck? I'm posting a link to it in the chat. There's a lot of people out there want to get involved. Okay. A lot of people out there that want to get involved but can't leave their house and go protest for a myriad of reasons. I have that conversation pretty often. Okay. Listen though, you don't gotta feel like you gotta go travel across the country and go to a protest. You can actually make changes to your behavior in your real life, okay, that are gonna have a big impact. As I've said, you have to get to a comfortable space where you can delete Facebook threads, IG, WhatsApp, Messenger, Twitter, and you've got to start shopping local and stop using Amazon so goddamn much. This is as much a PSA to my wife as anyone else, right? Um, mhm. Good morning from Panama. So basically, you can delete all these apps that all these billionaires that bought this election. Uh, and again, this isn't deactivate your account, delete your account, none of that shit. It's just get the app off your phone and stop using this shit. Stop doom scrolling on Twitter and Facebook. I understand. I think that there is a mental illness that you will develop if you're one of those people who has dipped your feet in both pools and tried to stay in them. Listen, I went to school and I have a little degree in social media. And if there's anything I learned using like Twitter and Facebook as my primary two social media websites, Twitter is weeks ahead of Facebook. Weeks. So the biggest problem there's is a disconnect with reality and Facebook. And the problem that Twitter was resolving for everyone is we needed updated on these events. It affects us in real time. And there's a reason why Elon Musk bought Twitter. It's because it was the information superhighway. It was fast tracking us towards an anti-capitalist state where people were going to realize. Bob sent that ball to me in an Amazon box. That's funny. That's funny, Bob. I would have wrote LOL under the logo. Um, but yeah, yeah, I got rid of Twitter uh around the same time where we started doing our research on holy shit, the people that are super hardcore Trump here are fucking brainwashed by Russian disinformation, Russian and Chinese disinformation, Russian, Chinese, and North Korean disinformation, more specifically. Okay. There are a handful of countries that really want America to fall. Yep. But I got off of Twitter. I got off of Facebook. I go back every now and then. I'm like, look how far I am from my last time I wrote anything or posted anything on Facebook, Twitter, IG, WhatsApp, Messenger. And you know what I've noticed? It makes me kind of happy is I used to have a bunch of DMs with a bunch of people. But if one of you leave, at least on Twitter and Facebook, it shows that they're just a Twitter user or Facebook user. And a lot of people have left these websites. And all I've said recently in the last few months, I've said, didn't I? We've seen too much. We've heard too much. The human brain was only meant to have so much trauma rammed through your eye holes and ear holes. You were only supposed to have so much. But the problem is that when you're on Twitter, you have to watch it happen. When you're on Facebook, you have to watch people reacting to something that happened weeks ago. And if you're the kind of person where you have a good sense of yourself and a good sense of the world around you, and you're watching people be unable to handle Twitter, people cannot handle Twitter. It's too real. It's right in your face. When the bad thing happens, it's on the table. Oh, there was a mass shooting. This is who did it. This is how many people died. This is how many blah, 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 blah. Here's pictures. Bam, Twitter. Now here's the problem. The problem is that the people on Facebook don't want to see that shit. So there is a delay between what is happening right the fuck now that is super important. Things are super important when they happen. And 2 fucking weeks later, we're having a degraded form of that same conversation on Facebook. And again, I want to make sure a degraded form of the same conversation where it's like, hey, the people that were in denial that couldn't handle fucking Twitter ran back to Facebook. Ask me how I know. And then they're having dumber versions of the same conversations. Why? Because they're in denial. They refuse to believe that reality is real. And they run to fucking Facebook so that they can sit in their little social circles, their little echo chambers, right? With their bigoted thoughts, and they can't stand to be I mean, my contention is that Twitter will survive Elon Musk. The real problem is Facebook. The real problem's Facebook. Why? Because when you're on TikTok, it's live. It's usually live. It's in video form, right? When you're on Twitter, it's live. It's in text form. It's happening right the fuck now. When it's on Facebook, you might not get any of that. You might not get the audio, the video. You might not see the original text. So again, it's because people cannot handle reality. Remember, I don't know if y'all remember this before, but there was not a rush to Facebook because MySpace was kind of the place to be. I mean, I came from ICQ chat. You know what I'm saying? Like I came from before Facebook. I only got ever got on Facebook because I was a Purdue student. I had a .edu email address, right? So me getting back on there all the way in '04 was novelty, right? But as I've said, as a result of overexposure on Twitter, people get overexposed to reality on Twitter and they run to Facebook because I don't have to worry about that for 2 weeks. Has anyone watched Social Dilemma? No. Nope. Like I said, I went to school. I know. You know what I mean? Like I went and got a degree in social media. You know. Hey, Greg, love you. We got to do something other than spam something that's going to get the channel banned, buddy. King, and like I said, you knew he couldn't help himself. Knew he couldn't help himself. Hey, Kara, great question. She said, any statement from U-Haul or are we on full on boycott? So for the record, Miss Kara, we had been boycotting U-Haul, as I would say at least since like March, minimum, because of the calendar that we were sharing on the show. In the bottom, it told you all those companies not to do business with, and one of those was U-Haul months ago. Because what they'll do is they'll keep these people's information private. Hmm. Hmm. And you know what I can say with full fucking confidence? That that rally that you watched, those were cops, by the way. Those were cops. Hmm. Hmm. Some of those that work forces are the same that burn crosses, right? We know this. Hmm. Beyond a shadow of a doubt. You know how I know? Lack of bitch titty, lack of gut. That simple. If it was just common people, they would just look like common people. You know, the men would have little titties and a little bit of a pooch, like I do. I'm fat, right? Because there's no fucking reason to be that fit. And I'm looking at those dudes like they're all fit. For what purpose? Cops. Like the only who would need to be in that level of physical conditioning? Cops. Yeah, yeah. I feel bad for all the nice people that I know that are from Kansas City. It just makes me sad because I know that those people aren't like that. I know 99% of people ain't like that. Mm. By the way, Killing in the Name of is the name of the song. Killing in the Name is the actual name of the song, sorry. So thought the same. Too fit for regulars. Yeah, yeah. They really. By the way, they. I saw it, but here's what I don't normally share stuff that has people's names on it because I ain't trying to get sued for doxing people. But I seen the list of all them people. They're from all over the United States. Fortunately, none of them are from Indiana, Ohio, or Illinois, but cops. Yeah. Hmm. Level, coordination, uniforms. It's too much for regular civilian. They're on some back channel. Hmm. Oh yeah, they're from Maryland. They're from yeah, all over the country. Like I said, not to get too terribly specific about the list of people that were in the back of that truck at that rally. Hmm. There was a KK rally in Kansas City within the last week, and they got rushed out of where the area they were in and jumped into the back of a U-Haul. Hence the talk about boycotting U-Haul. But as I've said, I'm pretty sure that the list of people that were in the back of that U-Haul has been released to the public. So, yeah, I think no matter what you do, you should be proud of what you do. Unlike the Proud Boys and KKK who have to wear masks to do what they do. Because if you found out who they were, you would just be like, "Oh, that totally makes sense. They're a cop." After January 6th, some police were removed with the same thing happening. Yeah, right. I had some really good friends in high school that were huge Rage Against the Machine fans and somehow became Trumpers. Talk about getting their music wrong, right, Bob? How do you grow up listening to Rage and yeah, they found out who were in the U-Hauls. That's what I was saying. They posted a list. But I don't know if I shared that article. Donald Trump couldn't even wait a week after finding out that Joe Biden had cancer to call him to share a post calling him a decrepit corpse. I just wanted to throw that out there. Couldn't even wait a week. hmm And you know what I'll never forget, regardless of what happens? I'll never forget when Donald Trump came to the White House and had lunch with Joe Biden, and they were sitting next to each other by the fire, and Joe Biden was sitting back in a lazy boy, and he looked ethereal, like he was fucking immortal, and there's nothing fucking Donald Trump could fucking do about it. And Donald Trump looked like a little piss baby sitting next to him. Remember that? Like the fire was burning him alive. Yeah. The same ones that raised the "Don't Tread on Me" flag. Damn, they're dropping like flies. The founder of Duck Dynasty died. Who did they think the machine was? Squint, you're hilarious. Who'd you think the machine was? Hey, I'm telling you, you want to you want to radicalize a generation, get an entire generation to play video games, play through the Mafia series. May I strongly recommend Mafia 3. If that video game does not completely fucking radicalize you and you don't pause a video game, pause, go look it up and go look up drug trafficking in the South, post Vietnam. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you'll learn a whole fuckload of history and you'll go back to that fucking game and you'll be, using a flamethrower on KKKs. You know what I mean? It's a video game. It's Mafia 3. It's about this badass veteran comes home from a Vietnam War back to his hometown in the South. And it's like Mississippi in the fucking 60s. So it's hotter than a bitch, right? Um, fucking swamp everywhere. Everybody's speaking a smattering of different languages from fucking Cajun to there's people, people from all over the world in this. Oh, I don't know. It might be Louisiana. Is it Louisiana or Mississippi? I can't remember. But anyway, if you want to radicalize an entire generation of people, Mafia 3. hmm Yep. That will radicalize the fuck out of you. Yeah, we got a violation for talking about a video game. That's a video game. It's typically free if you pay for PlayStation Plus. Man. But yeah, there are a lot of people that are like, Jared, I'm getting tired of just not doom scrolling. I want to get involved in the protest. Okay. Here's a couple places you can go. Good to go. So there's R50501. Okay. There's Protest Finder USA. Bob, hey, you know what I've realized? It's not about what you get caught doing, it's about what you get away with. You know what I'm saying? It's not about what you get caught doing, it's about what you get away with. That's what I've learned. Like the thing I've realized is I'm not trying to outsmart MAGA. I'm trying to outsmart the AI that works for MAGA. Does that make sense? I'm trying to outwork the bot that they pay for. One of their followers. Mm-hmm. Because, oh, by the way, I'm gonna keep fucking saying it. Within 90 days of the 2024 U.S. election, a social media firm did an audit of Donald Trump and Elon Musk and all these MAGA. They looked at all these big MAGA social media profiles, and you know what they found out that was common among all of them? They buy their following, and I'm not talking like a few followers. Like Donald Trump and Elon Musk are the worst. Like 90% of their following is fake. That's right. If you ever wondered who the fuck is buying followers, Donald J. Trump, Elon Musk. Hmm. Yep, they're real bad because people don't fucking like them. Yeah, yeah, that's fucking true. People don't fucking like those idiots. Okay. So again, we're talking about their social media followings. Mhm. Their follower counts on like Twitter and Facebook and Threads and IG and even Truth Social. Hmm. Yep. 90% of the people that like follow them, fake. And then also, uh, to the surprise of no one, the comment was 77 million votes were bought? Question mark. And it's like we weren't talking about the election. You jumped the shark here. I said their social media followings were bought. What? Whatever, dude. So that was the guy's name. I just blocked him. Hmm. So, so I just want to point out that their social media followings fake, and also it's endemic of that entire gaggle of folk, all those people that you don't like. They all buy their followers. So understand when you have an issue with like somebody, and you gotta know, are they like fully supported or are they buying their following? Okay, it helps you identify whether they're legitimate or not. Like I have over 16,000 followers on here, didn't buy a fucking one. Got a couple thousand subscribers on YouTube, didn't buy a fucking one. Good to go. And I'm thankful for every single fucking one of those, right? But I never sit around and I'm like, $10 a month? I could double the amount of paid for. It's never happening. Nope. Nope. I actually am not here satiated by clicks. I'm not satiated by views or likes or none of that. None of that. What I'm doing is what mainstream media is failing to fucking do. And every time I look, I'm like, oh my God. I'm glad I have a daily show where at least one other person on earth doesn't have to also sit through that shit, that can just sit and be like, yeah, I mean, they're not going to talk about protest, right? Right? They're not gonna say on the news, hey, people have said there can be no great political change in the United States until there's daily protest. Okay? Well, here's the May Day movement. It started on May 1st. It goes 90 days straight. There's a protest every day. In Washington, D.C. So if you really want to fucking do it, there you go. Where's all you people that said that, oh, we can never have great political change in this country until we protest nonstop? Nonstop protest. happening every day. Mayday USA. Okay. Now, there's some of you that are like, well, Jared, I'm poor. And I'm like, hey, me too. So I can't just go live in Washington, D.C. and go to protests every day. I'd fucking love to do that. Okay. So here's 5051. Okay. June 14th is the nokings.org. Okay. I think this should be a nationwide protest, but I am not in charge. Okay. Now, I say all that to say I'm still planning on redistributing the pod. So, for those of you that are like, man, he's really just going to show up every day, live stream a show, and that's going to be it. And it's like, no, I'm lazy and I have a full time job and I have four dogs and two cats, and I'm also married and a homeowner. So, suffice it to say, I have shit to do. But one of the things that I am cognizant of is I do want to bring you. Did you hear what I said? I want to bring you a larger audience. I want to bring you a larger following. Meaning, again, I'm not here for that. Not here for that. But I will work to redistribute. Okay. And I think that is sort of a low bar, actually. But we have months of shows to upload. Okay. If you get to a point where you just have to have more of me, you can always go back and watch my content that I post that's not a podcast, right? Like I didn't post anything this morning. You know why? Because the fucking Pacers play today, and I'm on like I don't even remember how many days in a row I've worked now, right? And I got a few more days of work till I get the weekend off, you know. And keep in mind, you know, one of the things I got to think about constantly is that I live in an at-will employment state, right? It's like I'm Icarus, right? I live in an at-will employment state. They hide the fucking rules at my new job. I got this new job started in January. I'm a badass. At every job I've ever had, I'm like really good. I was dicking around over the weekend and I went and found their disciplinary policy, which by the way is fucking hidden. And like, yeah, I had to go fucking look for this shit. Oh, honey, I'm fired. I'm fired like 1,000 fucking times. They have a no cursing rule. What? What? Oh, I'm cooked. Cooked any day. Any day. Fortunately, fortunately, I'm a heater. I show up and I put in fucking work. And it's I think I've broken a lot of these rules and I think I should be fired. I have to like do that every day. Every day, all day, every day. I'm like, yeah, at any point. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And you know what's worse? In the middle between zero tolerance, you're gonna get fired, and uh the definition of what it is. It's making me do all these puzzles. I don't want to do puzzles. Anyway, okay. So yeah. So yeah. I look through the disciplinary program. You could earn disciplinary points for hanging up on a live call too frequently. And I'm like, you expect me to sit and let a robot make outbound phone calls all goddamn day, and I'm not going to hear a noise? Sounds like a voicemail click. And I hang up on that shit and I get fired for that. But I heard the voicemail button. I'm trying to stay live so I can get an actual person on the phone so I can fucking help them. Right? This is why, if you're listening to me and you're like, wow, that sucks. This is why, if you are paying more than a few $100s a month for your credit cards, you need to call me. We need to get you out of that shit ASAP. I don't want to talk to these knuckle draggers. I want to talk to people I care about because I actually want to keep up with my clients. So go look at your, I don't know, your Credit Karma or whatever. If you got more than like $10,000 worth of unsecured debt, credit cards, personal loans, payday loans, okay? I want it, all of it. I can reduce your payment, put more money in your pocket, and get you out of debt in a few years instead of like the decade plus, which is how long it takes to repay like a couple $1,000s in unsecured debt. Okay? Yeah. Resist ancillary credit counseling. Yeah. I do debt resolution as my primary. hmm I'm trying not to send people to bankruptcy. I'm trying not to send people. Somebody said Pacers. What up, babe? Yeah. Yep. The good news is that I'm good enough at my job that it balances out the fear of just getting shit canned. hmm Because the thing about it is that they should have never done. It would have given them so much more leverage. My entire training class was tight because our trainer tortured us. So we got our own Slack channel, and we had 26 in there when we started on the floor in February, and now there's 10. So like turnover's dumbass high. And I asked my best friend who's worked there for a year now, why the fuck they fire all these people? And he was like, numbers. It's a numbers game, bro. And I was like, what else they fire people for? And he was like, numbers. Why? What'd you do? And I was like, dude, I'm terrible. I'm like the worst ever. Chicks versus chicks. That's hilarious. I love having jobs like that where you trauma bond with other. Yeah, yeah, yep. My training class at Beyond Finance, we trauma bonded because our stupid ass former 8 years in the army paratrooper trainer decided to commit Sippenhaft. Yeah, that's right. One of our classmates overpromised on a phone call, and instead of individually punishing that person, my trainer came into a class of like 30 people and punished all of us by exiling us to a room by ourselves. Um, and then I didn't feel anything because I have PTSD really bad. And, my dad was violently, physically, and verbally and psychologically abusive growing up. So, like, I got the shields up pretty constantly. So it didn't really affect me negatively, but it really fucked with my classmates. And it also fucked up my trainer good, because the next day, and keep in mind, it's like a bunch of men, right? It's a male dominated field. My trainer comes in, and I'm like, this motherfucker tortured us. It's called Sippenhaft, and I'm sending the Wikipedia link to everyone else on my team who I communicate with via text message, so they all know what happened to them. They know why they didn't sleep last night. And my trainer comes in the next day and he's like, "Yeah, I don't know what happened, but I couldn't sleep last night." And in my head, I'm like, "Because you fucking tortured us, you idiot. You don't know what you did because they didn't teach you this shit in the army. But you group punishment, that's a Nazi tactic. Sippenhaft. When one person does something wrong, and instead of just individually punishing one person, you punish the entire group. And then also you punish them by exiling them and making them be by themselves. hmm Sippenhaft. Yeah. So I gotta every day go to work knowing like I could get fucking fired at any time. I know, it smells like a massive lawsuit, doesn't it? By the way, everybody's like, Jared, socialism will never work, right? Socialism will never work. How are you going to pay for it, Jared? And I've said, well, I think you could legalize cannabis, and I think that would help go a long way. And what does this say? A marijuana tax is now funding a $750 no strings attached monthly payment from families or two families in New Mexico. New Mexico is now redistributing money that to communities it says needs it most. What? I thought you said socialism will need to be rebranded. Mama Louise said they did that at the veterans home with the nurses. They punished all of us because of CNA doing something they didn't like the entire night shift. Yeah, yep. Sippenhaft. Sippenhaft. Hmm? Send that to your HR. Hmm. Yeah, New Mexico sounding hotter and hotter, literally. Guaranteed basic income programs. We're gonna go ahead and restart. Shh. They were all over us like stink on shit, boy. Hey, all I was doing was pointing out all I was doing was pointing out, oh, that's socialist. Oh, that's, you know what I mean? Hey, remember how I told you it's gotta be regular people? We can't keep letting these octogenarians run our fucking country into the ground. Here's the Run for Something founder. I got people on YouTube in the comments like, Jared, I hate it. I'm deleting TikTok. TikTok fucking sucks. I read the headline of a news article and got a warning for that. He said tweaker talk. Ain't that the fucking truth? Bob with the home run. I love it. But yeah, the founder of Run for Something says Democrats rely on seniority, and it's not how it works. See, leadership is demonstrated, right? Tim Waltz, um, AOC, Jasmine Crockett. The reason I'm not saying Bernie Sanders is because there's too much information, too many videos of Bernie being pro-Israel. I can't fucking do it. I can't. I don't care who you are. If you think even for a millisecond, Israel deserves to protect itself, I don't. You will never see me again. Mm-mm. Nope. Nope. Not when it's women and children and aid workers that they're killing. Sorry. And you can sing Hamas all you want, and you know what I'm gonna say? Tulsi Gabbard. Fuck are we talking about Hamas? You should probably do some research. I also want to make sure I point out Donald Trump said before he was elected that if he was elected, he would stop the Ukraine war and the genocide in Gaza, and he's done neither. I think another congressman in seniority passed away. Wait, Dina, like now? These motherfuckers are dropping like flies. Here's Princeton, the chair at Princeton, urging graduates to save democracy. Jerome Powell. Okay. These two old farts, Putin and Trump, throwing shots at each other from across the ocean. By the way, I think this is awesome. So, all right, I wanted to talk about this. So, Donald Trump threatens to withhold $3 billion from Harvard and threatens to give it to trade schools. If I'm Harvard, you know what the fucking power play is? We'll match it. Let's go all in on the trade schools, Don. Put your motherfucking money where your mouth is. Do it. We'll double it. We'll triple it. What the fuck you want to do? Mm-hmm. Yep. I keep this in mind. I want kids to go to school, and I don't want it to cost money. You goddamn right. So again, this is me putting this out into the ether. Some poor kid from Indiana saying like, "Hey, if I'm Harvard, you know what the fucking nut fuck you is? Oh, you're gonna withhold $3 billion from us and give it to trade schools? We'll double your money. Let's invest in trade schools. Great idea, Don. Hmm. Call his bluff. What are you gonna do? What is he gonna do? You see, so many people are fighting Donald Trump. Dina, we knew that. Yeah, that happened a while ago. Yeah, we talked about that when it happened. Jerry Connolly got that seat over AOC and then died. Yeah, I'll never forget that. I'll never forget that they don't want people like David Hogg, AOC, Jasmine Crockett at the top in the DNC. So there's a reason I've said you got to have a workers' party, a socialist party, right? A union, a pro-union party, pro-equality party. God, can you imagine the kind of get-togethers the Socialist Party would have where like everyone is welcome? Anyway, anyway, just throwing that out there. But yeah, I think in the face of fascism, they're gonna make some fucking mistakes when they're stupid. So they're gonna say shit like, "We're gonna withhold $3 billion in funding unless you turn over all of your who all your students are and what country they're from." And Harvard just goes, "You know what, Don? Fuck it. Like, give the $3 billion to the trade schools and we'll double your investment, and that will make trade schools free in the United States for the next decade. Congratulations. You just funded universal education by calling Donald Trump on his bluff. And don't act like Harvard don't have the money." I'll never forget Pelosi whipping votes from her hospital bed to make sure AOC didn't get that spot over yep. Oh, and now they're coming after the autists. Okay. So y'all didn't want to say anything when it was trans kids. Okay. Here's Donald Trump saying autism has to be introduced. It's not the Naked Truth said they can't hold back congressionally funded funding. I agree, but what I'm saying is Harvard should say, sure, Don, we'll double your money. Let's really invest in trade schools. As opposed to being like, oh no, please don't. Here's the information. Like everybody else is doing. I'm saying like, what if they were just like, well, how about we actually invest in these trade schools and make that free? Because here's the thing, you know who goes to trade schools? Poor people. hmm The overwhelming statistic of who goes to trade schools, poor kids. hmm And unlike this administration, who literally could not give a shit less about poor people, I actually give a shit about poor people. That's like where I came from. Okay. And I also want to point out the executive branch doesn't have the power of the purse. That's congressional funding. They're the ones that get to determine that. Henny Momo said, "What's wrong with trade schools?" Nothing. I'm literally saying they should be free because who goes to trade schools? Poor kids. So I think poor kids should get to go to school for free at trade schools. And I think if the president of the United States is going to withhold $3 billion from Harvard and give it to trade schools, I think Harvard should double the funding and make it free. hmm Yep. So nothing. The answer to your question is there's not a goddamn thing wrong with a trade school. Wherever did you get that idea? God damn it, Bob. I don't like that though. I don't like to slow it down. I like to just talk at my speed. Oh my God. Mike Johnson says the big beautiful bill will only cut Medicaid for undeserving people. Tish said extending Trump tax cuts would add $4.6 trillion to the deficit. Fucking the party of a fiscal accountability, the party of small government. Mama Louise said anyone who utilizes Medicaid. Yeah. This bill that Republicans are trying to get passed in the Senate right now, it not only raises the deficit by trillions of dollars, it also gives billionaires the largest tax break in history, and it also uh, primarily draws that money out of Medicaid, Medicare, SNAP. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep. So they're taking away all of the social safety nets from the poor to give a handful of billionaires a pay cut, pay raise. Sorry, pay raise because they pay less. Yep, yep. And you know what I didn't have, but now is starting to be on my radar is it's gonna end up being Russia v the U.S. And I kind of thought we were trying to avoid this, but I think Donald Duck and Vlad are gonna bang heads. It's great how everyone here is like, what a great idea. And over there, they're like, education? Yeah, yeah. So obviously, that's not going to happen, right? But I want to point out Harvard standing up to Donald Trump, making hundreds of their courses free. through their library, and the head of Princeton. So again, these are the Ivy Leagues. These are the people leading this country. The Jerome Powell, the president of fucking Princeton, just gave a speech where he told Princeton grads to go save democracy. So if you think Princeton's not also going to use their library to put their course catalog on, and here's the thing, somebody's going to give it all away. And that's all it takes. It takes one entity to just give it all away and say you could come and get whatever degree you want from us on us. And education is free nationwide in moments. Not months, moments. Because here's what I can tell you. As somebody that has data analytics and finance in their fucking wheelhouse, guess what I've learned about y'all's piss money? And that's what I'm talking about. One of the things I fucking hate, y'all's piss money. How much money you pay for healthcare every month or when you use your healthcare, that's fucking piss money. You know why it's piss money? Because them companies that charge you all that money for your healthcare, they don't actually need that. That's right. That's right. I'm fucking looking you dead in the eye and saying it. 33 of 34 developed countries have all those fucking healthcare companies that are railroading you over your healthcare and raking you over the coals. They don't charge a fucking dime in 33 other countries. And guess what? The money we pay for healthcare in the United States does not make up their profit margin. That's why I call it fucking piss money. That little piss money that you give for healthcare, it isn't their profit margin. It's piss money to them in terms of their profit margin versus how much Americans actually pay for healthcare. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes. Suffice it to say, they can easily afford to not have us pay for it. That is correct. Hmm. Your college fees, if you don't attend and you just go register for courses and you think about what the actual cost of credit hour is and you were to actually weigh that and think about what its impact would be and all that shit, like I've done. There's a reason I keep going back to Purdue, by the way, is because Purdue has locked their tuition for over 20 fucking years, which is the next closest thing to it being fucking free. And by the way, I'm a white boy, so I don't mind paying for an education and giving it to others. It doesn't bother me the fuck at all. I will continue to pay hundreds of dollars a credit hour. And I will continue to champion for people to not have to fucking do it. Yeah. hmm Ain't that fucking crazy? hmm I could be suffering and be like, but other people should not suffer. Yep. And so I'm telling you, one of the things that Donald Trump's doing is pushing people towards us because people are realizing, like, I can't play this Democrat Republican shit. Fuck all of these people. hmm There's a reason that I've said I'll do it. I'll fall on the sword. I'll found the American Socialist Party. Use me. You're not going to find someone that's like a better person. I hate to be that way. I'm an Eagle Scout. I'm not only Eagle Scout, I'm Order of the Arrow. I was in the Marine Corps Infantry. I didn't fight in some dumb war and kill some brown person and I have that hanging over my head. I'm clean. In fact, I don't have a criminal record. I don't drink. I don't smoke. I advocate for a healthy lifestyle. I'm a sports coach. I help people get away from paying out their ass and interest for a living. And I like dogs. Find a better person that doesn't need to grift off the position at all, that has a fucking job, that that can just say, yeah, I founded the American Socialist Party because the US healthcare system is failing. I think everybody should just have free healthcare. Okay? The US education system is topsy-turvy. Fuck it. I think your education should be free too. Oh, by the way, the legalization of marijuana in multiple states has caused those states to repay the poorest among us. That's called socialized income, and I think we should all get it. $500 every Friday just for fucking being here. And I think that there are 600 educated, fiery, passionate fucking people under the age of 55. Sorry, everybody. Under the age of 55. They got some fucking panache left that are like, this dude's onto something. I'll run for public office. I want to run for this public office. And then listen, it takes political strategy to get you into office. And in the past, what we've had to do is play the Democrat Republican game. I don't think you got to do that anymore. I don't think you got to do it anymore. I don't think you got to do that. You start with me. Start with someone with 16,000 followers on TikTok, 2,000 subscribers on YouTube. I'm nothing. I'm a nobody, but that's actually pretty big. I don't care about money. I didn't found it to make money. I founded it because the what we're doing is not fucking working. We don't have a pro-union political party. We don't have a pro-equality party. We don't have a pro-normal human being, normal person party. And again, as I've said, I've never in my life met someone in real life that is like, I'm a Democrat. Hi, I'm a Republican. I ain't never met them. So y'all were never Democrat or Republican. That didn't matter to you. But it should now. It should now. You see what's going on in the world right now, and you don't think that we actually need a political party not bent on capitalism. We need a political party bent on something the fuck else. I happen to think that something the fuck else is universal healthcare, education, income, and housing, pro equality, pro union, right? And I'm a syndicalist, which means that I think that you don't rise to the occasion, you fall to your level of competency. And I think that the people that should be in charge of us all should be former union leaders, people whose job for a period of their life was to look out for those other people around them and get them better health care and pay, right? Because again, like I said, you don't rise to the occasion, you do whatever you're good at. That's that would be what a union person does when they get into political office, when their hands start to fidget and they wonder what the fuck's going. Yeah, that's the kind of person that says, "How can I make people's lives better?" Politics didn't used to equal morality, but today it does. Yeah. The problem that I have is you can't look at the situation and say that the Democratic Party gave up on winning this election because they see politics as a fucking game. And I don't think politics is a fucking game. And the thing about it is, socialism's happening all around you, and nobody says a fucking word. People are getting $750 a month in New Mexico because they legalized marijuana. So you tell me like socialized income's not possible. By the way, Detroit, Denver, now New Mexico. Keep talking. Keep telling me it can't happen while it's fucking happening. No, I want universal housing. So the socialist economic theory says rent, interest, and taxes are derivative of your labor, and we ought to minimize those. So actually, I feel like we need rent control. Most of the people I talk to just pay too much goddamn money in rent. Hmm. You're overpaying like a motherfucker. Yep. Like when I run into somebody that's paying like less than $600-700 a month in rent, I'm like, oh my God, how lucky are you? Now, typically they live in a shared space, so sure, if you're willing to take on fucking roommates, that works. Yeah, hopefully people that are kind of around become artists, right? And they see the image of the red, white, and blue cobra that is the logo for the American Socialist Party. Why? Because what I was thinking about is, well, what are the logos for the Democrats and Republicans, right? It's a donkey and an elephant. And then ASP, American Socialist Party, asp itself in Latin, aspis is the Egyptian cobra. So that's what we made the actual logo of the American Socialist Party, ASP. We made it. Why do we get visibility restriction? Anyway, you need to calm down. Blocked. What? I'll never understand. Juju said I knew in elementary school when I first learned about it that it could be great if done right. Yep. Mhm. Yep. I think that you shouldn't have to pay for healthcare that you're either not going to work, you're either not going to use, or it doesn't work. It's worthless to me, right? I think that you should get money every week just for sticking around. Thanks for being here. I think that there should be extreme rent control if no rent. I don't think being a landlord should be a job. Just, I don't think, mm, nope. I think like a maintenance company needs to kind of take care of your property that you rent. Yep. hmm And oh, by the way, thinking taxes are like derivative of your labor and shit. So if you want to withhold your federal taxes and not give the government your money until they earn it, you can do that too. hmm My wife had already done that a while ago. hmm Somebody said, "All right, Indiana." So let's talk a little bit about that, okay? So Zeke, my wife and I, we were living in a rental home, and they were gonna charge us $250 more a month in rent. So this was 2017. They wanted to charge uh $1,100, and we were paying 850. My wife was like, "Let's buy a house. Fuck that." So this was 2017. So we bought a house. Socialism has flaws. Not everyone can work. We have that flaw in our economy now, and no one would have incentive to work dangerous jobs. Well, you know what's crazy about dangerous jobs? I make more money than all those people that work those dangerous jobs, and so those people choose to do those dangerous jobs. They're not forced to do that. hmm They're choosing to do that. They're incentivized to do it because they're chasing that high. hmm Yeah, nobody does it because it pays astronomical. Because I make more money than those people. I work with the people that do those high risk jobs, and they're not doing it for money. They're doing it because of the risk. hmm But yeah, socialism having flaws that not everyone can work is the same flaw we have now. No electric, no oil, no buildings. I don't understand. I don't understand if it's almost like you're acting like democracy is what keeps the lights on. But the government's not what keeps the lights on. You're talking about individual employees at a business. So you're all over the fucking place, is what I've gathered. You don't really know what you're talking about. You're just being argumentative, right? It's like you have nothing else to add to the conversation. So this is where you got, right? Without fucking capitalism, the machine stops working. And it's like, really? The one that doesn't work? Didn't Roe v. Wade get rolled back during the Biden administration? Didn't that happen? Did that happen? Problem is people are too power hungry to care about taking care of the less fortunate. And crazily, 90% of people are less fortunate. But yeah, so my wife was like, "Hey, 1150 for a rental home at 38th and Emerson, downtown Indianapolis is not worth. You should buy." I was happy. I loved my little house in my little neighborhood downtown. Um, and so we moved out here to Lawrence. And I want to make sure we talk about like my wife was like, we want an $850 a month mortgage. Okay, so this is a $175 house with an $850 a month mortgage. Okay, my mortgage payment has gone up, and you got to understand that you got, and my see my lip curl there. Um, this is because of taxes and ex and um taxes and escrow and insurance. My mortgage payment on an $850 a month mortgage is 1633. So for the record, thrilled, thrilled to be paying 1633 for my house that I own. That's fucking awesome. And so imagine me who bought better part of a decade ago at 2.5% interest with an $850 a month mortgage, paying fucking double effectively because of interest and tax and insurance. Imagine my surprise when, unless they are living in a shared space, the average person is paying more than I am for rent. That's not true either, milady. You still have to pay property taxes. Where did you get this information? My property tax is 2,300 a year with no mortgage. So anyway, we've been here for a while. Love y'all. Have a good day. I'm gonna go to work, do my best, hope I don't get fired. It's kind of what I do every day. Knowing that I'm like fired. I'm fired. There's so many rules the company I work for has that I don't know. But yeah, one of the things about capitalism that I fucking hate in the United States, once you own your house, you don't own your house. And again, part of that is like you don't own the land, the Indians do, right? So there's that, right? The duality of man. On the one part, I'm like, fuck, I'm gonna pay this house off, not have a fucking mortgage anymore, only pay tax to live here, which would be like a couple $100 a month. So I'll like never actually own outright this house. Hmm. Kind of no matter what. The impetus is to pay the bitch off as fast as possible, right? But there's a reason I tell people to like grow gardens and shit. So the reason I'm here every day is because like I'm the one suffering the least. That's the way I see it. So I'm using what time I have left and what time I have in front of y'all to say, while it looks and feels fucking awful, what it should do is center you. And you know what you know, and you know what you need to do, and you know that it involves being more politically active and loud, and it involves things like community building, and it's getting to know your neighbors, and it's growing a garden, and it's getting a generator, and it's getting solar panels. Philly said, "How's your garden doing?" My wife came home. Well, we got to get seeds, and then I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do. I had a client that makes cedar planters, and I was gonna literally a person that I did business with. I was gonna contact them outside of work and be like, "Can I order cedar planters from you and and have them shipped to me?" Um, but I just don't have I haven't had the time. I might actually get to do that this weekend because I have a 3-day weekend where I can, yeah, I should be able to. That's a good idea. I should be able to make some movement on a garden this weekend. I just haven't since January. Started the new job, try to keep I'm doing the show every day. So you got to think like 10 and a half hours a day I'm sitting in this chair, right? It's like I'm fucking stapled to it. Um, if money were no object, it would be you'd be catching me in better spots. So have a fantastic day. Um, stay safe out there. Try not to get too wrapped up on what's going on. Remember, control what you can control, right? Corn seed and tomatoes sprout faster. Hmm.